In a world overflowing with noise, distractions, and constant competition, how do you remain calm, wise, and truly in control? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers us timeless guidance. The Stoics believed that true strength is not about dominating others or showing off, but about mastering yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your inner world. This video will walk you through 9 powerful Stoic keys that can help you outsmart challenges, rise above negativity, and live with unshakable clarity. These keys are not tricks or shortcuts. They are enduring principles that the greatest minds, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, used to stay steady in the face of adversity. Each lesson you'll discover today is simple yet profound. From the way you handle your struggles, to how you guard your dreams, to the importance of keeping some things unspoken. These are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools that, if practiced daily, will transform how you approach life. So stay with us until the end, because each key builds on the last, creating a complete Stoic toolkit for strength, wisdom, and peace. In life, difficulties are inevitable. Each of us, no matter how strong, must face moments of failure, loss, or pain. Yet the difference lies in how we respond. The Stoics believe true strength is not in complaining or telling everyone about our problems, but in facing them silently and calmly. Think about it. When you keep repeating your difficulties to others, what do you actually gain? A little sympathy, some temporary comfort? But deep down, the problem remains, even becoming heavier because you constantly recall it. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The more you talk about your pain, the more you strengthen it in your mind. Silence does not mean repression or denial. It means you are giving yourself space to look at difficulties objectively. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are troubled by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In other words, the difficulty is only as large as your way of looking at it. When you stop talking, stop complaining, you begin to regain control of your perspective. Silence also helps you transform obstacles into opportunities. When others use time to lament, you use silence to act, to observe, to think of solutions. A person who can endure silently often surprises everyone by their calmness, because calmness is the foundation of courage. This does not mean you must isolate yourself completely. There are times when sharing with the right person brings support. But remember, choose carefully what and with whom to share. Complaining indiscriminately only drains your energy and weakens your spirit. Imagine you are facing a setback at work. If you spend the whole day telling everyone how unlucky you are, you only spread negativity. But if you keep silent, focus on what can be done, then when you speak, it is no longer a complaint but a constructive proposal. The Stoics teach us that the strongest warrior is not the one who shouts about his pain, but the one who silently turns pain into strength. So from now on, when you encounter difficulties, try to remind yourself, do not rush to talk, do not rush to complain. Instead, breathe, observe, and act. Because in silence, true strength begins to grow. Every person carries within themselves secrets, stories of the past, unspoken wounds, or desires that cannot be shared. The Stoics believe that secrets are like the fortress of the soul. Once you reveal them indiscriminately, you lose the most important weapon of protection: mystery and inner safety. Why should you not reveal secrets? Because not everyone around you truly listens with empathy. Some may use your secrets to judge you, belittle you, or even harm you. Epictetus advised, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." Words once spoken cannot be taken back. And secrets, once revealed, can no longer be retrieved. Keeping secrets is not deception, but self-protection. It is choosing to show the world only what you want them to see, while preserving your inner space. A person who knows how to guard their secrets has the aura of calmness and depth. Others respect them because they do not expose themselves easily. Moreover, when you keep your secrets, you learn self-reliance. You do not depend on validation from outside, nor do you need others to ease your pain. You practice facing yourself, and only then can you truly grow. Of course, this does not mean you should never share. Life still needs sincere connections. But choose carefully. Share with those who truly deserve it, those who have proven their loyalty and kindness. And even then, reveal only what is necessary. Imagine you are going through a big change in life. If you tell it to everyone, you might get 100 different opinions, making you more confused. But if you keep silent, calmly consider, then choose to share only with one trusted person, you will feel lighter and still keep your inner strength. The Stoics teach, the more silent you are, the more powerful your words become when you finally speak. A secret carefully preserved is not a burden, but a shield, protecting you from external judgment, while also reminding you of the value of inner independence. So remember, do not reveal everything you think, nor every story you carry. Let part of you always remain a mystery, because in that mystery, your true strength lies. Human nature often craves recognition. When we achieve something, even small, we want others to know, to praise us. But the Stoics teach, do not show off your achievements. True value lies in the action itself, not in external recognition. Seneca once said, "Work not for applause, but for the satisfaction of having done right." If you constantly seek recognition, you become a slave to other people's opinions. Today they praise you, you are happy. Tomorrow they ignore you, you feel worthless. In the end, you are no longer free. Not showing off does not mean denying yourself. It means letting results speak for themselves. A strong person does not need to tell everyone how strong they are. People will see it through their actions, their calmness, and their consistency. Moreover, bragging about achievements often creates hidden dangers. Some may envy you, others may doubt you, or worse, try to bring you down. By keeping silent, you protect both your results and your inner peace. Imagine you get a promotion. If you loudly announce it everywhere, you may get congratulations, but also envy. If you simply keep calm, continue to work diligently, then over time, everyone will see your capability and respect will come naturally. The Stoics emphasize, the more you need to boast, the less secure you are inside. Conversely, when you are truly confident, you no longer need to seek validation from others. You work, you improve, you achieve, not for anyone, but for yourself. So from now on, when you reach a goal, try to practice silence. Let your achievement be like a tree. It does not make noise when growing, but when it blooms and bears fruit, the whole world will see. Because real strength does not lie in how much you talk about yourself, but in how much your actions make others silently admire. We often feel tempted to announce our plans, the projects we will do, the goals we want to reach, the paths we will take. But the Stoics remind us, keep silent about your next step. The more you speak, the easier it is to lose focus and energy. Why? Because once you tell others your plan, you receive opinions, judgments, and expectations. Some will doubt you, others may pressure you, and sometimes their words will make you hesitate. Worse, when you talk too much, you feel as if you've already achieved part of it, and your motivation diminishes. Psychologists today confirm this. Announcing a goal gives a false sense of accomplishment, making people more likely to stop midway. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, instead of talking about what you will do, simply do it. Keeping silent about your next step also helps protect you from unnecessary envy. Not everyone is happy with your progress. Some may try to hinder you, or even take advantage of your idea. By keeping calm and quiet, you give yourself time to act without distraction. Imagine you want to start a new business. If you tell everyone, you will get countless comments, "It's risky," "It won't work," "Others already failed." If you keep silent, research carefully, and work step by step, then one day when you succeed, you won't need to explain, the results will speak for you. Silence does not mean isolation. It means choosing the right time to reveal. When your step is firm, when the plan is clear, when results are visible, that is when you speak. Before that, let silence be your shield and focus be your companion. The Stoics believe, great strength lies not in words, but in consistent actions. So, keep your next step to yourself. Let the world see only when the path is complete, not when it is just a sketch in your mind. Talking about others seems easy and sometimes entertaining. But the Stoics warn, do not gossip about others. Every time you talk about someone else's flaws, you are wasting the time and energy that should be used to improve yourself. Epictetus once said, when you are tempted to talk of another's faults, turn to your own, and ask yourself what you are doing in such a case. Words about others may give temporary satisfaction, but they do not bring you any real growth. On the contrary, they weaken your dignity, making you depend on comparison instead of self-discipline. Moreover, gossip creates invisible harm. Today you talk about someone, tomorrow others will talk about you. Relationships are broken, trust disappears, and you yourself become stuck in a cycle of negativity. When you resist the urge to gossip, you create more silence in your mind. That silence gives you space to reflect, what am I doing with my life? How can I be better today than I was yesterday? Only in that reflection can real progress be born. Imagine in a group of friends, everyone is criticizing someone who is absent. If you stay silent, or calmly turn the topic to something meaningful, you not only protect your dignity but also show true strength. Because it is easy to gossip, but it takes courage to choose silence. The Stoics emphasize that a wise person always uses words to build, not to destroy. If you cannot say something that improves yourself or others, silence is the better choice. So from now on, whenever you feel the urge to gossip, stop and ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to the person I want to become? Most likely, the answer is no. Remember, you only truly control your own mind and actions, not others. By focusing on yourself, you not only save energy but also create a noble presence that makes others respect you without words. In life, when we do something good, help someone, donate money, or show kindness, we often feel the urge to tell others. But the Stoics teach, true virtue does not need recognition. The value of a good deed lies in the act itself, not in praise or applause. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you have done a good act and another has received it, why do you still look for a third thing, credit for having done well or a favor in return? In other words, doing good is complete in itself. If you seek recognition, your goodness is no longer pure but mixed with self-interest. When you boast about your good deeds, you weaken their value. People may doubt your sincerity, thinking you acted not out of compassion but for reputation. Worse, you train your mind to expect external rewards instead of cultivating inner strength. On the other hand, when you quietly do good, you build true character. You know you did what is right, regardless of who sees it. That quiet satisfaction is deeper and more lasting than any compliment. Imagine you help a colleague without mentioning it to anyone. That person feels supported, and you continue with your work as if nothing happened. Later, your kindness naturally spreads through your actions, without you ever having to advertise it. The Stoics remind us, virtue is its own reward. When you let go of the need for recognition, you act freely, without fear of judgment or disappointment. Goodness becomes your nature, not a performance. So from now on, practice doing good in silence. Help without boasting, give without expecting, support without announcing. Let your kindness be like a spring flowing quietly, nourishing life around it without needing to declare its presence. Because true greatness is not in how loudly you talk about your virtues, but in how naturally they flow through your life. The world often encourages us to be open, to share our vulnerabilities. But the Stoics taught, be careful, exposing your weaknesses can turn into a weapon others use against you. Seneca once said, a man who lays open his weaknesses is like a city without walls. When you reveal too much, you risk losing protection, leaving yourself exposed to judgment, exploitation, or manipulation. We must distinguish between flaws and weaknesses. Flaws are shortcomings we can acknowledge and work to improve, like impatience or disorganization. But weaknesses are vulnerabilities that can be exploited, like being overly trusting, easily angered, or fearful. These must be guarded, not displayed. The Stoics remind us that true strength is built in silence. Instead of announcing your weaknesses to the world, work on them privately. For example, if you easily panic under pressure, don't confess it openly. Instead, quietly practice breathing, discipline, and preparation until you master calmness. When you guard your weaknesses, you gain control. No one can take advantage of what they don't know. More importantly, you protect your dignity and maintain a position of inner stability. This does not mean lying or pretending to be perfect. It means choosing wisely what to reveal. Just as a warrior never shows the cracks in his armor, you must learn to protect the fragile parts of yourself until they grow stronger. The Stoic way is clear. Transform weaknesses into strengths, but do it in silence. Do not seek pity, do not use vulnerability as an excuse, and do not hand others the tools to hurt you. So from now on, when you notice a weakness, keep it close. Work on it quietly. Let your progress, not your confession, speak for you. Because real strength is not in announcing your struggles, but in conquering them without needing recognition. Dreams are what make life meaningful. Each of us has aspirations, whether to build a business, create art, or pursue a life of freedom. But the Stoics remind us, not every dream should be spoken out loud. Some dreams must be protected in silence until the right time comes.
Why?
Because dreams are fragile. When shared too early, they can be met with doubt, ridicule, or unnecessary pressure. The wrong words from others can shake your confidence and make you lose focus. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which depends upon tomorrow and wastes today." The Stoics emphasized action over talk. Instead of announcing your dreams, you should quietly take steps toward them each day. When you keep your aspirations private, you protect them from negativity. You maintain your intrinsic motivation, the inner fire that drives you forward, not the fleeting approval of others. Moreover, you avoid premature satisfaction. Sometimes, simply talking about a dream can trick your brain into feeling it has already been achieved, weakening your motivation to act. Think of a seed. If you dig it up every day to show people, it will never grow. But if you protect it in the soil, give it time, and quietly nurture it, it will one day grow into a strong tree. Your dreams work the same way. This does not mean you can never share your aspirations. Trusted mentors, close friends, or partners can help guide you. But share selectively, and only when necessary. For the most part, let your dreams live in your heart until your actions make them real. So the Stoic challenge is, the next time you feel excited to talk about your dream, pause. Instead of speaking, act. Instead of telling, building. Instead of looking for approval, trust your own path. Because dreams are not made real by words, but by silent, consistent effort. And the quieter you nurture them, the stronger they will grow. In today's world, solitude is often misunderstood. People fear being alone, thinking it means loneliness or weakness. But the Stoics taught the opposite. Solitude is not emptiness, it is richness. It is the sacred space where we reconnect with ourselves. Seneca wrote, "Loneliness is the poverty of self, solitude is the richness of self." To the Stoics, being alone was not something to avoid but something to treasure. In solitude, you find clarity, reflect on your values, and cultivate inner strength. When you protect your moments of solitude, you guard your inner sanctuary. Not everyone needs to know how you meditate, journal, or walk in silence. If shared too freely, these practices can be misunderstood, criticized, or disrupted. Keeping them private preserves their power. Solitude also teaches self-reliance. In those quiet moments, You discover that you do not need constant company or external validation to feel whole. You learn to enjoy your own presence, to generate peace from within, and to become your own source of guidance. Think of an artist retreating into silence to create, or a philosopher reflecting alone to gain wisdom. Their strength comes not from the noise of the crowd, but from the stillness within. So the Stoic challenge is, create sacred solitude in your life. Whether it is meditation, long walks, writing, or simply sitting quietly, treat this time as untouchable. Protect it, respect it, and let it renew you. Because solitude is not isolation, it is the foundation of self-mastery. In silence, you build clarity, creativity, and resilience. And when you return to the world, you carry with you a deeper calm, a sharper mind, and an unshakable strength. You have now discovered the 9 Stoic keys, principles of silence, humility, self-control, and inner resilience that the ancient Stoics used to live with strength and wisdom. These are not just lessons from the past. They are strategies that remain as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing your humanity or becoming emotionless. It is about mastering what is within your control, protecting your inner world, and living with integrity. By practicing these 9 keys, you will find yourself less shaken by difficulties, less dependent on praise or approval, and more centered in your own power. Whether it is facing challenges without complaint, guarding your secrets, or nurturing your dreams in silence, each step brings you closer to a life of true freedom, the freedom that comes from within. So as you leave this video, take these Stoic lessons with you. Begin applying them in small ways every day. In time, you'll notice a profound change, less noise, less chaos, and more calm strength. Because the greatest victory is not over others, it is over yourself.